It's Wednesday, October 21st, 2014. Jerry Misuski on his first attempt of the day. Hopes are high this sunny morning as he effortlessly glides down the slack line tightrope. Unbeknownst to many, this tightrope is a woven piece of very sophisticated synthetic material comprised of spider-woven silk and cherub hair. There's a slight breeze today. But that won't faze Mr. Misuski. He's as prepared to walk this line as his hat is prepared to protect him from the rays of the almighty sun. Poop. He's now approaching the first transition area on the said tightrope slackline. Please excuse the technical difficulties I am experiencing here. There we are. Perfect. The transition area can be a challenge as the harmonics of the slack rope change drastically. But today, Mr. Misuski seems to have effortlessly, quote-unquote, cruised through this transition. With his extreme agility, like that of an Arctic cougar, he presses onward, but also with the strength of a ferocious South African polar bear. I would estimate he is approximately 300 feet down the slackline tightrope currently. We're now hearing audible movements of the line. This is common, as Jerry's body is learning to harmonize with the flat rope under his feet. Come on, Jerry. You're doing great. Come on, everyone at home, let's cheer him on. In the sport of slack rope walking, we often mention the sensation and theory of what we call a vibe. As Jerry's on the tightrope, he can feel those vibes coming from his colleagues. I am sending him my vibes currently. They are of hope and prosperity. Jerry can be very serious, so I take it upon myself to induce humor, but also the strength of a pterodactyl. See, the line is now still. You are welcome, Jerry Mizuski. I would anticipate he is nearing the center of the line currently. As I open my package of oatmeal, I will send my vibes of nutrition to him. Cheers to oatmeal, Jerry. May it help you across this behemoth of a tightrope, slack rope. A little history on the sport of balance. It started when, in the year 300 BC, found a thin vine crossing a small river in the rainforest of Norway. Was very interested in this vine, so he grabbed hold of it and swung a little. Decided to try his luck at taking the interesting way across the said river. As crossed the river with his balancing tactics and creative abilities, he thought to himself, which modern translation has told us means Eureka! This is neat. Decided it should be named. So, later that evening with and they discussed names. Thought to himself, we should call it vine walking. But, as translated, reminded that it was not always going to be a vine. Perhaps modern technology would bring upon them greater, stronger more powerful materials to balance themselves across these tight ropes. Then they decided it will be called Wookapoop. Modern translation has told us that Wookapoop is a literal meaning of slack rope tight lining. And in order to conserve breath, kids these days have shortened that to slack line. Gerald Mizuski, one of the modern tightrope slack walkers, has learned valuable ways to cross these lines in a manner similar to Habukabuga. It is quite fascinating that the sport has come so far since Habukabuga and Hey! Boop, boop, or slack rope tight lining is a great sport, fun, enjoyable for many ages. Jerry seems to be excelling on this particular slack rope tight line. As noted in the video, he is about to walk the slack rope from end to end without falling. He has excellent ability to focus and hone his skills. And it is an inspiration to all. I cannot be funny anymore. I am trying to be nonchalant because I would like to transfer these positive vibes to him without the stress or feeling of pressure, for he still has many feet to walk. The accomplishment today will be similar to a recent accomplishment made by Janet up the hill here. She lives in the house on the left. Janet recently set a United States world record for the most quilts quilted in a 5-year period. That record is currently held by Janet at a miraculous 5 quilts. Now, don't go thinking, gee golly, that's a small number. No. Janet's quilts are fabricated very carefully, handmade from the leaves of a ancient cherry tree, carefully twisted and tied into yarns over centuries, passed down to Janet from her ancestors. Janet's ancestors were inhabitants of the islands of Texas. But enough about Janet. We're talking about another record, almost as amazing as Janet's quilts. Jerry Mishesky has just taken approximately 750 small steps for man, 750 giant leaps for mankind. Holy balls.
Dude!
Holy crap.